And welcome back to Forgecraft Evolved. I'm Axon Evolved, and we're looking over our tier 2 ores here. I'm pretty happy with our lift setup here. It's working out pretty well. But I think it's time. We're running basic cargo lifts. I think it's time to upgrade to better lifts. So let's look at what I've kind of been doing in the interim. So let's run back here. You might notice that I've created a room. I've got a couple rooms, but here's this one. I've turned our tier 2 crafting into an actual room. So what that means is hopefully we get a little bit better frames, blah, 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 blah. But the most important thing, I made a couple slight changes that I'll kind of go over. First things first, you might notice that everything is coming into a hopper now. So I'm getting to the point where I have to split items. I need to split the raw resources into multiple directions. And some might fill up faster than others, you see. So like here's a line that's filling up faster. So I have all these hoppers set to share so that whenever they come in, it'll just balance between them and everything will get what it needs. So that's all fine and dandy. But the reason we have so many lines going now, so if we look over here, right, I am splitting, well, let me just show you what I'm doing this for. So we kind of went over it at the end of the last episode. We're talking about what we need for ultimate upgrade modules, right? And the first thing we need is alloyed upgrade modules. Now these take 10 titanium housings. You can see one coming in right here. 10 gold foil and 10 secondary upgrade modules for one alloyed upgrade module, right? So basically what I've done is I've set up the titanium housing to basically, I got 3 stampers because this just runs off stampers, stamped titanium plates, right? But it's 5, I think it's 5, something like 5 titanium plates per titanium housing, right? So this is really slow. It might be worth it to get this set up to use more than one of these, but we're not really too concerned with it right this second. So we have that. We've split off our gold wire here for our gold foil. And this, again, this is kind of just stocking up here. If down the line, which is over here, if that's full, then it'll stock up in there. And kind of the same thing here. If down the line ever fills up, then we have the backup right here. Of course, I can always just rotate that to cut it off, but I think we're doing okay right now. And then the same thing for the secondary, these things, right? Secondary upgrade modules. Yeah, so we've got those coming in here. Those are branching off and running way over here. On one hand, looking at this, on one hand, I kind of, my OCD kicks in a little bit. But on the other hand, it's almost like I kind of like the belty kind of chaos going everywhere. Maybe at some point, I don't know. Maybe I will get to the point where I make almost like a designated room per thing, like maybe I'll have all of this come in, because other than the blocks here, the alloyed machine blocks, nothing really uses the raw bars as much as they use, what the bars turn into. So like the bar sinks, right? So like secondary upgrade modules, gold foil, and titanium housing. But there are a couple things, like the low grade steel. Where is that? Right here, low grade steel bars. Those use the actual bars. Like I said, the different machine blocks, and is that alloyed machine blocks? I think it is. What is that one? Yeah, hard machine blocks and alloyed machine blocks use bars. And then of course the bars for research. But right over here, so you can see we're bringing in primary upgrade modules. We're bringing in lithium coils. And those are going into our ultimate upgrade module makers. This thing takes a ridiculous amount of stuff, right? So first thing, it takes 10 of those. So that's like 500 bars just right there per, let me see. So that's 10 of each. And so that's 10 times 5, right? So like that took 5. And so 50, 50, 50, 150 times 10. So what is that? I'm sorry, 1,500 bars. Actually, I think those even take 10. So more, just a ton of bars. And then multiply that by 10. So it's a ridiculous amount of of production just to make ultimate upgrade modules. But we've got, what, 16 so far. So let's throw down this, and let's see if we can kind of do something with that. So I know... Improve cargo lifts. Okay. So I want to get the at least 3 going. So I'm going to need... Okay, I can take the cargo lifts from the lifts. That's easy. So I'm going to need 3 basic mine cars. And what do those need? Oh, okay. There we go. So let me go grab these lifts real quick, and then we'll come right back here. Actually, you know what? I'll just bring this with me. Okay, so these are the lifts I'm taking. So I don't know how to... I don't know how to stop them. Do I just... Do I have to break it? Oh god, that sucks. Oh, there goes nothing. All right. See, this is what I was afraid of. This is what I didn't want to have happen. Okay, so we got those broken. So let's build these improved cargo lifts. All right. So now I think I just need to drag them in. Yeah. Oh, do I need to put them in a hopper? Ugh. It's always something, man. Okay, let's try this. You need to go in a hopper. Do I need to put those like on top of the basic or something? Or I wonder... Oh, do they have to like check the rails again? Oh man, okay. Check all the rails. Alright, so while it's doing that, let's talk a little bit more about what we have planned in the future. First things first, let's go look at kind of what's happened in the short amount of time between episodes. So we're going to go to the tier 2. Okay, so in that short time frame, this titanium vein has run out. So that's gone. I had to kind of temporarily throw some pipes down to tap into that titanium. You can see we've kind of dug out a little bit more over here. I think what I'm going to do with that, I might have this matter move over this direction and then go straight into, you know, a set of hoppers right here. That is also... Oh, wait. Because I kind of want to get... Oh, man, I'm conflicted now. You know, I might just leave this as it is. Just for the time being. Because I want to get that gold down there set up. We already obviously have that gold. This is actually kind of holding on. I threw a little Arthur power... or recharging station down here because for some reason I run through power really quick when I'm down here doing stuff, so that's all good. I dug out this little area here as a potential kind of sitting spot for some maybe a Mark IV battery and a turbine. You know, in case this wasn't working, I could have basically just thrown a Mark IV battery behind here and just powered that with a turbine. But this seems to be okay. If we kind of get like a bigger push to get, like, if we find that the lift is taking resources faster than we can fill it up, then I might consider, you know, tapping into more resources at once to fill up these. Because with more power, we could go back to the Mark IIs, I guess, or the dual matter movers. Because the biggest difference is the dual matter movers, they shoot 2 at a time, whereas these just do 1, right? And man, these look like they're actually taking like 1.3 million power, 1.2 million, what are you? Are you not facing the right way? Are you serious? I don't know how that got rotated. 65k. Well, alright. So this should be done up pretty soon. So one of the other things I want to do, I've got a couple ore pings that I want to kind of scout around. You know, that's how we found this nickel. This is the only nickel we have down here. So I want to kind of see. I don't know what the status of this one is. Okay, 2 million. So that will last. And luckily we've got cutter heads and good motors. Maybe I'll get faster motors going, I'm not sure, but I want to have backup veins for everything, right? So we have, obviously, I think this is 25 million titanium, so I don't even think we need to worry about that. But my 2 gold veins are only about 1 million each, and my nickel is only about, what was that, 2 million we just saw? So I want to have some backups for the backups, you know. I'm pretty sure all my tier 1 ores are doing okay. I don't think I'm going to be swapping those out for the improved cargo lifts, but that's just kind of what's going on right now. Another thing I've kind of been doing, if we go to the cold caverns here. So there is there's another lift here. You might have seen it when we were up top. This is eventually going to be for my crystal. And I just basically, I'm not set up top to process crystal yet. So that's kind of why it's not going yet. For the meantime, I just grab it and process it manually. But you can see we're using this smaller vein here. Real tiny. But once we kind of get into production, like that's the one we're going to be going off of. Oop, this one right here. Ooh, not crafting. X. There we go. Okay. And then one other thing we need to start thinking about, right? We are eventually going to need to get ready for the cold cavern. And in order to do that, I know for a fact we're going to need a ton of space, a ton of vertical space. So what I might do, I might get down to like the minus 250 level right here. And I might get incorporate the use of the Flexible Games Mark II auto excavator. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's a mod, but basically you can use it to just blast through clearing stuff out. Because doing this with the Mark III work floor excavator would just be such a time-consuming pain. And I don't know if that's really something that I want to deal with right now. So that's kind of the plan going further on. Let's go back and check these lifts. Alright, so it looks like they might be done now. So if I throw... Okay, so it just needed to rescan, it looks like. I had to end up breaking these initially to get these lifts out. So now that those are going, maybe make sure all the permissions are right. Top unload all, bottom load all. Okay. Unload, load. Top unload, bottom load. Okay. Oh, these have actually 2,000 cargo. I don't know why it said only 1,000, or I thought it said 1,000. Alright, well, there's that. So now that those are going, we really need to work on our processing. So what I've done, I upgraded the force inductions to Mark IVs. So on all of these, they have Mark IV inductions, which you can see I mean, we should be running out of material soon because it looks like we had it paused for so long. What are they at? Yeah, there's still some. I guess these are waiting to output. This line doesn't actually go anywhere right now, which is why it's just kind of stagnant. So good to have these little buffers. We're blasting through titanium and gold though, because the nickel's only really used. Well, I guess it's used for the alloy upgrade module and the steel, low-grade steel bars. So let's talk future plans also. Let's get an update. You see we're constantly getting attacked. Spoiler alert, future plans. So our resin farm has just been going phenomenally. Not having any problems with it. If anything, the closest thing to a problem that I'm having is that I'm creating too much liquid resin, which was kind of the problem before. But if we go take a look, not only are these full 500 liquid resin, but if we go look at here, I have a 2,000 slot hopper that's full of refined liquid resin. This 500 slotter is full of refined liquid resin because we're just using fuel down below, right? Down here, because we're using very minimal hoppers, there's just not a lot of fuel that can be in the system, right? So the only time something's going to come out like these, right? These are spinning up, generating power for an attack that we're getting, right? But, you know, now that something popped out, right, it immediately gets backfilled, right? The matter movers immediately backfill it. So whenever there's an opening in here, it'll just get filled up from back over here. So we just don't have a whole lot of empty stuff just sitting on the line, you know. This one I don't even need. I mean, this is using like negligible power. But there's a couple things I want to start thinking about and getting set up. But we need to do a little bit of planning first. So number one, some of the research I've been doing, right? if we go and take a look at some of the defenses we have now, right? So tier 4 energy turrets, I don't know how much of these I'm actually going to go for, right? These are kind of just power hogs, and they're okay. I'm not a huge fan of them. But what I want to getting into is missile turrets, right? Missiles, I'm pretty sure they'll do like 60,000 damage, something like that, some like ridiculous amount. But with that, we need assemblers and fuelers and for, the armor-piercing warheads, imbuers, right? So like we can do a couple things with missiles, but what I want to do is essentially I want to try to replace, maybe if you look at the outline of our base, right? It's not really an octagon. I mean, I guess it technically is. It has 8 sides, but all the sides are not the same length, right? I would love to build an octagon around the CPH that's, equidistant. Make it like a quote unquote, like a castle keep, right? And in the keep, we put missile turrets, right? And so there's a couple things that go along with that. I'm pretty sure that, in fact, let me just go. I'm just going to craft one real quick because I've never actually used missiles, so I'm not 100% like how this all works, right? But from what I understand, I've done a little bit of reading here and there, but nothing definitive, right? So if I look at this, right, this is kind of what I'm looking at, right? This, I'm pretty sure, plasma imbued missiles and pristine stingers, right? So that's these over here. Pristine stingers is these right here. So we've got a bunch. We've got a bunch in here too. Look at all these pristine stingers. So what I need to do, right? Once maybe I'll lay out the outline of the octagon that we're going to build, the keep, so to speak. And I think I'm going to get rid of Spider Bro. I'm not really using him anymore. He kind of has outlived his usefulness. Maybe I'll build like a little pen over here or something and just kind of park him, but for now he's not really doing too much. And I mean, you can see like our defenses are so woefully underwhelming that it's doing nothing, right? So what I want to do, so let's plan this out, right? So build the keep outline. On top of that, I need to take this whole setup, right? So everything from the cryohopper, the organic reassembler, and all of the Falcors and all of the Falcor storage, I need to take that and situate it around the keep, because I essentially want like 4-ish sets of Falcors situated, in roughly each corner. And then that'll involve moving these beacons and, making more of them and situating them so that we get all the parts. Because if you look over here, like I have a beacon out here. That beacon right there, this beacon right here, like they're grabbing stuff. It's just not grabbing enough. And all this stuff lying on the ground, eventually, like it's like a performance hit. So more beacons, more Falcors, and the Falcors have such a big range that, if I have a set of Falcors that is based here, it's going to get all the other beacons. Same thing with all the 4 Falcors and all the 4 corners. So that's all going to flow kind of no problem. But if I can get this set up, and then the fueler, let me check out the fueler. I don't know if it takes a special fuel. High energy composite fuels and empty missiles. Okay, so this could be a nice little sink for all the fuel that we're gonna have over there. We could maybe even do something. Let me see, how does this line up with this tower? We might even be able to kind of matter move it from somewhere in there into this wall, right? And then we can just kind of distribute it throughout, because this wall is just going to be hollow, right? It's just going to be just like the wall we have over there. So take the fuel, move it over, and then within the keep walls, create the missiles and all that, and have them perched up in all the little towers. Whereas in the middle of them, we'll have all of the stuff for the missiles distributing. So there's that's a plan there. What else do we have? We have Mark V battery components, right? Now, these take a ridiculous amount of stuff. So, power storage blocks, lightweight machine housings, we have automated. Alloyed machine blocks are a little less... you know what? Let me just go show you. So, alloyed machine blocks here, the biggest issue they run into is that they need... what, hardened machine blocks? And hardened machine blocks need gold, I think? Is that what's missing here if I follow it back? No, titanium, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off... essentially, I'm going to cut off these ultimate upgrade modules because we pretty much used them for what we needed them for right now. So I don't think we really need to worry about those, which means these will fill up, which means the gold will overflow. What is the holdup? Okay, so you got the gold. What are you missing? Hard machine block. Okay, what is hard machine block missing? Titanium bar, titanium bar. Okay, so this is where the issue is. And I wonder what titanium's doing. But anyway, we have, you know, boom, 360. No big deal. Titanium just might not be flowing because it's not coming up yet. Let's see what's going on over here. What's it doing now? Oh, it's coming back up. Oh, you know what? That's the issue. We're running out of power. So I think we need to redo this power real quick. So here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to get rid of that. I'm essentially just going to double it up. So we are going to just do this, right? Boom, boom. That. Just down. And that should at least double the power, which I hope means they'll travel a little bit faster. Because you can see they really suck the power down. And then as these kind of spin up, this 256 power per second. Let me see. I mean, it could be better. Oh man, if I had it... I could make it so that these are being fed on the top. How many generators do I have? So I have 15 generators. I could do something like this, right? Something like this everywhere. In fact, that's what I think I'm going to do. Let's reconfigure this power. Alright, so we're going to want something like this and in, and then I don't know, maybe if I just do this? Okay, cool. So I think that's the solution, right? We just kind of drop one down, go in, and then we can just build to us right here and just get it the one we need. Okay, I think that'll generate more than enough power. That's what, 512 power per second. Plus it gives us a reason to use all this coal. We still have quite a bit of coal left in here. I mean, this is what, 10,000, something like that, 15,000 coal. We've got a ton in these hoppers. It was hundreds there. There's hundreds here. There's a couple hundred here. So I'm not worried about coal anytime soon. We're kind of shifting away from coal power anyway. I want to, in that same vein, right? If we're going to be processing ores as fast as possible, the smelters right here could probably use their own turbine. That one might be an issue, but yeah, we could probably use turbines, or even just put Mark III batteries, in between, or a Mark IV battery. I'm sorry, like have a Mark IV spanning the two plates, and the same thing over here, Mark IV, and then just have some generators set up over here or something, and just blast them with lasers. We have options that I'm not too concerned about how that's going to run. So, with that being said, going back to Mark V batteries, right? So, Mark III to Mark IV is essentially like a 1-to-1, right? So for every Mark III battery you have, you can build like, it's like 9 for 9, right? So you need 27 Mark III batteries to build 27 Mark IV battery component parts. But this essentially takes up 9, was that? Yeah. 9 Mark IV batteries worth of parts. So 9 times 27, which is a lot, right? And if you look at how we're set up, right? We either have the option of, well, what I want to do is essentially change this, right? So we have 1, 2, 3 times 4 corners. So that's 12 Mark V batteries. That's just kind of a ridiculous amount. But if I've cut off everything over here, right? So eventually, like the gold foil and the titanium housings, all that will build up. And then all of the extra resources should dedicate. In fact, let's take a look. The extra resources should start dedicating themselves to flowing back this way. Yeah, so right now they are kind of running over here. Yeah, it's trying to fill up this, which isn't, I mean, it's doing it. It's not a huge deal. This just needs, well, I can do, in fact, I can do this. I have some of these on me, right? So we can at least get some going. But it takes a lot. It takes like 16 of these per block. So, it's going to take time for everything to kind of refill back up. Like once that fills, once we got all the titanium machine housings, like we'll be fine. But it's just going to take time for me to kind of fill things up and kind of get things situated for where they need to be. Because a number of things. Number one, I want to start harvesting. If we look, I don't want to, you know what, it's fine. I'll pick some of these up. So if we look, I should have massive faceted eyes somewhere over here. What are you? Yeah. So these eyes let us make lenses that do 250% transmission speed. So they're like, I'm using organic lenses on some of my transmitters, and those basically double the Mark III power transmitters. So these, right? So if I throw a lens on, right, it gives us up to 640. But if I were to get one of those eyes, let me see. I can't pick things up. Okay, hold on. So if we look here at the lenses we got, right? A massive facet eye, 250%, right? So if we compare the two, if I throw the massive faceted eye, that's 1100 power per second, right? So that is what we need to power up everything, that's to keep things powered. But we just don't have the eyes to really do it, We're still over here just getting destroyed all the time. But all that's going to come with the Falcor redo, the amount of just defenses we can create, and like, oh man, like look at that, just stuff getting picked up. One of the things that has been working out, if we look at our inventory, 286 recombined organic matter, and if I go to the self-craft, I mean, it's not a whole lot. I could make, a couple of these, but it's going to take forever, So I think getting kind of serious about defense is going to be kind of the theme of the next few episodes. And I think it's going to start with kind of figuring out the inner octagon and maybe even getting some missiles set up, because that's something that we can do in the short term that will really beef up our defense, because we have the fuel. We're going to have all the stuff we need to make missiles. Fuel is not an issue. We have a resin farm that kind of does everything we need, and we have the ability to power that stuff as well. So that's kind of on the short-term goal. Long-term, I still want to do a build video for the rest of this base. Kind of, maybe a time lapse, maybe this or that. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do it, but stay tuned for that. So I think on that note, guys, I'm going to call this one an episode. This is another kind of on the shorter side, kind of testing out how that how that feels, how that works. If you guys like that, let me know down below in the comments, or you can let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button so you see, when we finally do implement all this stuff, you'll know when it goes up. You'll be the first in line to see it all, and then you can be the first one to let me know how I'm doing. So with that, guys, I will see you all in the next one.